Well, good morning. I'm Kaye. Welcome back to my homestead where I'm sharing life here with my cats, growing my own food, and trying to be more self-sufficient. If that's of interest to you and you're new here, I hope you subscribe, click the bell for notifications, scroll down and click all so you won't miss an episode. Well, today we are going to find out just how many Sweet Annie plants came up in this blueberry container. And we're going to talk about Sweet Annie. I'm going to give you a quick update as to what I've gotten seeded so far. Here we are rolling into the very end of February, and it's a leap year, so we have one extra day to get things done. So stay tuned. Let's see, it is 7 a.m. Let's see, February 27th. Wow. So I am chronically disorganized with gardening because, you know what they say about the, what is it? The eyes are bigger than the stomach in terms of, wanting to eat too much. Well, I just want to plant too much. I have all this space and I think, oh my gosh, just plant seeds, and then worry about what to do with them if they come up. And that's what I do. But anyway, this year I finally, I always have these piles everywhere. I'm going, what's the status of this pile? What's the status of that pile? But this year I decided to just have one little bin. It says Seeded 2024. And I'm putting it in. As I do it, I just put a little post-it note on here when I actually seeded it. On 124, I seeded lavender. None of the lavender came up. I waited a month and gave up. And it was two different seed companies. So obviously, I have to take the responsibility for that. So, and the one seed company, which was this one, Beyond Roots, yeah. That one came up beautifully last year, so it was obviously something I did wrong. You can, if you get the soil too wet, if you let the soil dry out, if it's on a heat mat, and the soil can dry out pretty quickly, so I always like to just spritz them from the top until they sprout. Because if you water them from in the tray, you don't have the roots to take that moisture up, and then you get the green algae type or the mold, and so I try to just mist. With something like some herbs take literally 21 days to sprout, and you think, well, you've just given up before then, right? Anyway, the lavender didn't come up, and if I'm going to have lavender this year, I'm going to be forced to. I did order some more seeds, but we'll see. Red sail lettuce, I've got some of that, and here are all my onions, which you can see here. This is half of them. The other half is right over there. And they just look fantastic. Look at that. They are so ready to go outside. But as I said in my last video last week, I don't have the ground ready. I had a helper on Saturday, and we got 2 raised beds done, filled with, and prepared. And so I have one that's absolutely ready for me to put my cool season plants in. I've got a whole stack of those: chard, beets, radishes, spinach, lettuce, you name it. And so that's the other lavender. Cypress vine, which looks very much like cardinal climber and has a beautiful red flower, and of course the roselle, which you've seen in the other video. I planted fenugreek for the first time, and these seeds someone gave me literally in 2016, I think. So we'll see if they come up. The first round didn't, and I redid it, so we'll see. Borage was one of my absolutely favorite things to grow in California. It's a great companion with tomatoes. It's supposed to keep the tomato worm away. And I have to confess it doesn't, because I always had borage and I always had tomato worms. But it's a beautiful flower, and the petals are edible in salads. You can also make tea from the borage, so that's a great thing to consider growing, and I've got two unusual types of basil. Haven't seen a lot of evidence of anything yet, but that's the basil, cardinal basil, which is a beautiful red flower. I showed these before, and Petra purple Petra. So all purple leaves and probably pink flowers. Bee balm, I don't know if that has come up. The black cumin, you know, black cumin is where they make black seed oil, and if you're aware of the medicinal benefit of black seed oil, it can help in many conditions. So especially if you, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medicine, but I have read and seen evidence that it really makes a difference with the blood. So you could check that out, see what you think. But I am growing it because it has these beautiful lavender type flowers, which look like a lot like bachelor buttons in the picture. I haven't had it yet. So calendula pot marigold. That has to germinate in the dark, so I've got them blocked off over there on the heat mat. And of course you saw me plant the Formosa lily in the last video. This is, oh yeah, Jamie gave me these. These are Taiwan sugar pea, and I got all those. I decided sweet peas you can just plant out in the garden, but our weather has been wild. It was 72 yesterday and 24 like 3 nights before, so and this morning it's supposed to be raining, so it's just getting out into the garden hasn't been easy. And this is Racina calendula, and that has the most, was it resin? The most medicinal benefit to the calendula balm. Egyptian spinach, that's another one that I got from Jack Davis in Phoenix, as well as the Roselle. And I'm trying the Cape gooseberry again, and I had ordered some seeds, and I had collected some seeds, and tomatillo, which I haven't grown since California, and they were absolutely beautiful. But I remember that there was some problem, some disease or something, and just 3 nights ago I planted a bunch of cabbage seeds. Since I did that video, I was telling you that I hadn't gotten around to cabbage. And then here, and this is all my eggplant. So that's what's all done. Now, I've told myself, as soon as I get the onions planted in the garden, then just get them out of here. There's so much pressure in here because everything is full. Every heat mat is being used, and every light is being used. So I'm eager to get the onions out. They are doing a few hours a day outside, and they've got a lot of body, so much more body to them. You know, when I do this, they spring back. And that wasn't the case last year. Here are a couple of plants that Jamie gave me. Okay, so I'm going to clean this off. Oh yeah, I want to mention too that these are my wild goose peas, and I did make an announcement on my community page that I am selling them. And so scroll back on my community page for details on that. And I also have these are all heirloom. This one has been in my family for over 100 years. My grandmother grew this. And this is Sweet Luck corn. This is a corn developed by Daryl, our friend Daryl at the channel, for over 40 years, I believe he started. And this is the Hutterite bush bean, which is a great bean for chowder. And these are the cowpeas. And cowpeas are similar to a black-eyed pea, but I like them better. And I can even open the pod and eat them fresh. I think they're good. So I'm going to clean all this off, and then we're going to spread all these out and take it apart. Just get a look in there. I sprinkled the seeds, which are very hard to distinguish between the chaff in the flower, because the flowers are absolutely tiny on this very big plant. This plant can get up to 6 feet tall and has the most wonderful scent in the garden. So you can see underneath, that's a toothpick. You can see underneath how many there might possibly be. So this is the block here. And I don't know, actually, they're all interwoven so much, it'll be difficult to take them apart. But we'll see what we can do. I'm going to give you a better look because on my community page, I'm going to run a little poll and see what people think, see how many people think that are viable. Obviously, there's probably going to be a bunch of little ones in there that you won't want to pot up. But I'm going to do a little seed giveaway for the person that gets the closest. Well, let's just start by taking it apart. Okay, that's actually 2. We'll do big and small. And that way, if we wind up with more than 50, I've got 150 tray prepared here. I do want to show you this though. It's tiny, absolutely tiny. So if you're doing this, you can see it looks kind of big till it gets to the surface, and then when you pull it out, that's 1. Look at the tiny little stem there. That little joint right there is what's holding that whole set of roots to that plant. Okay, I'm going to put rejects over there. Well, I would have 1,000, I think, if I did all these little ones. So obviously I could have put less seeds, but you just never know. Each one of those is a plant. I've got so many, I'm just going to save the ones that are a little more viable. That's a big one. Let's get 1, 3 little ones. That's a nice one. Okay. 1 blueberry container. If you were in the business of selling Sweet Annie, you would have a very small investment up front. Okay, I am going to pot up 50 and see what's left. It might be easier to count them that way. So we'll just get started. I have this tray of 50. This is from, let's see, Bootstrap Farmer. Is that right? I think. I'm going to select the biggest, most promising ones. But I am going to count the total, just so I know how many for the seed giveaway. So go back to my community page if you want to participate. I'm going to have to put a little bit more dirt in these. I actually love this part of gardening. It's a little tedious, but I love it. Hard to believe this turns into a woody bush 6 feet tall. The tiniest seeds They're just like powder. It just occurred to me, I could make a whole row of bushes to protect my orchard. It's just kind of flopping over. I've got the final number of the viable plants. There were a number that just had a root that long, and it was one little thing, and they're all gone. I've got way too many as it is. So I'm going to stop there. The total number of viable plants will be posted on my community page, and whoever gets closest to the number, I'm going to be sending some of my heirloom seeds. So I hope you'll go there and check after you see the video. And thank you so much for supporting my channel by watching, liking, sharing with others, and helping it grow. Many thanks. God bless you. See you in the next video.